keep on forgetting how good the water looks in this simulation. And look at the rocks he's added in. Look how cool that looks. Hello Flight Simulator fans, welcome back to another Practically Geek video. Today I'll be showing you another freeware airport from the creator Superspud, who I have featured on my channel before, not too long ago. Land's End Airport he had created, and I took you around that to show you what he'd done, which was absolutely amazing. So I thought I would do this one, which is St Mary's, located in the Isle of Scilly, and they are kind of a connected airport, if you will. They do sort of the island hops back and forth from mainland England, and that's what we'll be looking at today. We're just going to be jumping into the drone camera as per usual, just to take a look around the default scenery. It's not the worst and it's not the best default scenery I've seen. Certainly one of the smaller airports I've looked at. The autogen building isn't great, but it is in the right location where the main terminal is. We've got this fuel truck here, which seems to be on possibly a helicopter pad, I'm not too sure, or a stand, so it is incorrectly positioned. Just take you up a bit higher just to show you the Isle of Scilly and the surrounding islands. In this freeware scenery package, Superspud has done some. There's two folders included. Some of them are to add and fix things around these islands, as well as the airport itself. So there will be two folders when you if you want to download this. Just remember there is two folders to put in your community folder. As you can see, the normal kind of 2D flat textures with the imprints of the static aircraft as usual. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Obviously this particular airport's very scenically located. Scenically? It's in a very scenic location, rather. Approaching on runway 32, you're going to be approaching from the shore over the channel, and similarly the runway 27, you'd also be coming over the shore and landing. So this is one of the shorter runways, 27, so this is runway 27 and 09, which is similar to what Liverpool Airport has. So Liverpool Airport, my local airport, is runway 09 and 27. That's one of the shorter airports here that clocks in at 523 meters long and 18 meters wide. Whereas the longer runway, the wider runway, the more darker out the two of them, that is runway 14 and runway 32. 32 is the one where the shore you would approach over the shore. That is dead on 600 meters and 23 meters across. So they're still not massive runways, but the airport, again, the same as Land's End, use Twin Otter aircraft, which are very good at short takeoff and landings. There's these outbuildings here. I don't know if these would actually be small hangars and office buildings here. Certainly, I'd imagine Superspud has fixed those. And generally, there's not much to talk about here. There's a couple of houses along the roads. Again, the roads are not great, and it's just really bare, as you normally expect from a default airport. So I think what we will do, is head back into the airport, but we will be going back into Superspud's airport, and we'll see what he has done to St Mary's to upgrade it. Welcome back to St Mary's Airport, and we are loaded in to Superspud's freeware scenery, and I couldn't get it completely the same. The tarmac and terminal and fuel area have all been rearranged to obviously match up with the real world version. So as you can see already, I'm parked in a different stand. Orientation is looking out over the channel, and yeah, obviously already looking great. We've got some static aircraft now. Things have been changed with the all tarmac textures have been changed as far as I'm aware. The terminal building, let's start there. We don't usually, but let's start there. And Superspud does say in his description this is more of a placeholder. I have checked out the picture of the terminal at St Mary's, and apart from it looking slightly different, there's more angled roofs and more glass. The colours and the textures and the control tower do look pretty similar, in fact, so well done there. Obviously, if it's not custom made buildings, it's not going to match up. His Land's End terminal did, and it did very, very well. In fact, I was blown away by how much that was a copy of the real life one. But even so, you know, it's a lot better than what it was. Loads of detail here. We've got baggage trolleys with the suitcases in. Terminal building looks great. I mean, even with it not being what it should look like, it's still better than what we had. You know, we've got an actual interior with computers, and look at the sun rays coming through that glass. It's so, you know, compared to the, you know, the four-sided block autogen building we have, I wouldn't really be concerned. We've got a bit more interior here. It's not, that's more of a, yeah, it's just like a glass effect to make it look like there's an interior. Some, you know, mesh fences. So, you know, look, there was none of this here. There was no car parks. There was no there was no terminal. Well, there was a terminal building, but you didn't have this much level of detail. We've got some picnic tables here. You know, security barriers going into, you know, onto the tarmac. A lot of detail is being put here. These fences here, actual antennas and radars, and these solar panels look great. You can actually see them on the 2D images. If you scroll back on the video, you'll actually see these in the satellite imagery. And you know, Superspud's taking it a bit further and added the actual 3D models. All the runways have been retextured. That looks great. Looks really great, really amazing. As so of these buildings that were once more house looking ones, these are actual hangars with the emergency building here and more fencing just to add to the detail. Really, really good, actually. Really impressed with what he's done with this airport, you know, because now that he has done Land's End and St Mary's, you know, you could be doing some really great flights back and forth, you know, especially if you're using any of the third-party programs like NeoFly, or I think the other one's called Airhauler. You can buy that one as well. That's more of a payware. You know, if you wanted to do some channel hopping, then, you know, these will be the two airports to do it in. And as you can tell, you know, if you go further up, there's I'm pretty sure these, but I don't know if they're moving boats or ferries in the background there. I'm not too sure if they were there beforehand, but certainly if you look over here, there's more of a port area boats in. There is, I'll show you the really, really good one as well he's added in. So down at the far end of runway 32, one of the longer runways, he's added in all these rocks, and this was just flat textures. There was nothing here. It looked really, really poor, actually. I keep on forgetting how good the water looks in this simulation. And look at the rocks he's added in. Look how cool that looks. And all the elevation and the altitude and airport runways have been fixed. So that's another part of his freeware. You know, it's not a massive airport, but it's just, you know, the reason why I do these airports is because there's a lot of payware sceneries now being added to the simulation. I was just on Orbex actually this morning and yesterday, and I was checking out so many, they've got so many partners now and so many airports being added to it. And obviously there's not just Orbex, there's other ones as well. You can sort of get bogged down with all these paywares and totally forget that there's freeware out there. And it's not just that, it's freeware on this level as well. I mean, look, he's added in, same as the Land's End airport, he's added in the road, the outskirts road, you know, and this airport didn't even join up, if I can remember, though, and he's added in all the road markings. And, you know, especially, you know, if you're landing over onto runway 14, you've got some really great surrounding areas to do that in. And what I will say as well, I'm always forgetting to kind of point out my performance on my system while doing these freeware airports. Everything so far that I've looked at on my channel doesn't take a performance hit as such. There's some areas where it stutters a bit more, but certainly for my system anyway, if you don't look in the comments, I've put it in every comment section of these videos. I'm running a RTX 2080. It's an Asus Strix with 3 fans. It's quite a thick a thick graphics card. 32 gigs of RAM, which is DDR4, and I've got a i7 9700K. I think I'm getting around 4.1 gigahertz there, so I think in terms of what I'm getting, if I had something like maybe an RTX 2080 Ti or even a RTX 3080, I think some of these stutters would die down, especially with a Ti, because you get 11 gigs of VRAM and I've only got 8. So and the recommended VRAM for this is 8. So if I don't put the terrain level of detail down to 120 in the settings, the likes of New York or Vegas or any like Paris, there's a lot of stutter in there. But these freeware airports, no. In fact, sometimes I get better performance for some odd reason. But anyway, so that's something I don't mention enough. Still getting this pop in with the airplanes here. Now, I've seen in comments this is something to do with the SDK and Asobo, so that's nothing creators can do. I've seen it in other creators' freeware. The planes, some static airplanes seem to pop up and down from certain distances, or sometimes you can see it, sometimes it doesn't happen. You can see it here right now. Yeah. Kind of like whack-a-mole, but it's nothing they can do about it really. So as always, let's have a look at this freeware scenery in the nighttime, just so we can check out the night lighting. We'll be heading into St. Mary's at about 1 AM just to see what the whole area looks like at nighttime. So let's do that now. Okay, so it's just after 1 AM, around 1:04 if you want to be precise. One thing I do love to see in this one is the lighting in the control tower still isn't great. I've yet to see any airport, in fact, that has some good lighting inside the control tower. But that being said, the monitors are glowing up, so that's really good. So from a distance, that looks really, really nice. So does the windows, given the interior. a bit more substance, same as Superspud's Land's End, which had a proper interior. As he said in his description and download page, which obviously I will link in the description, he said this is more of a placeholder. He does want to add in the proper terminal. As I said before, it looks quite similar, definitely in colour and texture. The roof panel and etc. looks like the terminal, so nothing to worry about just yet. But the night lighting's good, and we've got a significant sort of spotlight and illuminating the quite small apron. Again, the pushback trolleys have the weird bug. Again, that's something to do with the SDK and a SOBO, which I'm guessing will be fixed soon. But if you get too close, the trolley lighting goes off and on, which is a shame because it does emit some really great lighting with some great reflections on the apron. We've got some runway lights, which again, perfectly acceptable. Illuminates the airport quite well. Let's just head up a bit further. The islands obviously don't. The islands around the Isle of Scilly don't have a lot of mass urban areas, so the likes of the docks and the small villages around illuminated quite well. But you are out in the open there. That possibly looks like maybe a planet in there. The full sky, if you didn't know, in Flight Simulator is also mapped as well, so the constellations are all proper, which is mind blowing. The only other thing that we've got to look at is the outer hangars here. Again, these 2D windows. I think they're 2D. I don't. It's like an interior effect of the windows, but they're again lit up really well, really well. So are these kind of like huts? What would you call them? Static homes they look like, but obviously office, maybe utility buildings there. Interior sort of fake windows look really cool, and the emergency building here with the spotlight outside illuminating the entrances. And again, there's another little hut here with some interior lighting, and of course the taxiway lights are nicely illuminated as well. So let's take a look at St. Mary's in some different weather. Start off with some heavy rain and see what it looks like with the reflections. So here is St. Mary's Airport in the rain. This is just the standard preset for the rain. One thing I still love how the pushback trolley reflects the lighting. Look at that, so amazing. But I also noticed that the interior of this terminal has got this orange light bursting through, and it's got like a small reflection coming through that looks really nice. Again, the control tower screens, the monitors inside, are really impressing me. They look really good actually. And as always, the reflections in this game are spectacular. Sorry, I keep on saying game. I know what I mean. It's a simulator. It's not a game. I'm sorry if I trigger people by saying that. I know it's not a game. It's a simulation. I'm fully aware of that. It's just a slip of the tongue, and I don't mean it. So if I do say game, you know I mean simulator. This simulator always impresses me with the weather effects, the reflections. That's not to say, obviously, the creator, Superspud, hasn't put a lot of thought into the detailing. You know, the default scenery, sure, the tarmac would have looked nice and everything, but the level of detail down to the, you know, the fencing here, you know, it looks like a genuine airport. You can see the control tower in the background there. And it looks super, super impressive. Take a look at some storm weather as well just before I finish off this video. So this is the humid storms preset, and this is included in the Weather Presets Pro, which you can get from the Orbex Direct store. I think it's only about £4 or £5, but you can hear that thunder, and how cool do the, you know, especially there, look, you can see like the rain forming in the background of the clouds. And obviously you got the lightning and the thunder. But look at that scene there. Look at that shot. You've got the rain has drenched the grass. You can see the grass being a bit flooded there of rain. And again, it just looks so good. And then sometimes we do get some lovely weather in the UK. I'd imagine the Isle of Scilly gets some nice weather just being off the coast of the UK. Not as close as maybe say the Channel Islands to France, but you know it's you can see Land's End from there. Maybe the glare and sun doesn't help that, but look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? But yeah, this has been St Mary's Airport. The creator Superspud has done some amazing works. I do plan to do maybe another few, especially there's a Wales one, Carnarvon Airport. He's done that with, actually that is actually Scale 300's file, but it is featuring Superspud, so I may feature that somewhere along the line. I'm also going to be doing a USA one soon, the Grand Canyon Airport, which looks super impressive. I'll be showing you that soon. And I've got an early Christmas present off my wife. She bought me a payware airport, which I'm super excited to review, and that might even come. They might have even put it on my channel already, actually, before this airport. Because I want to hurry up and get that reviewed. It is still a new one. It's Southend Airport, down the Thames, so nearer the coast, obviously Southend in the UK. And that is from Pilot Plus, who done the Wickham Airfield, Wickham Airport. So I am keen to see what they've done with a larger airport, because you remember how super detailed that was. If you haven't seen that review that I did, I'll post it up above there on the cards above, so you can click that and go to that. If you are liking my reviews, please consider giving me a like, comments, let me know what you think of these. Also, a subscribe would be super helpful. I am really enjoying doing these, showing you what is available for free for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I might even break the mold and do some just chatting about sort of updates and how everything's going with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I certainly want to talk about virtual reality and the UK update coming in January. But for now, as I say, a like, subscribe, and comment, say hello, tell me what you think, and I will be back for more FREEWARE airports and flight tours. You can look through my videos and see some really interesting locations, some football stadium flights where I fly over some football grounds in the UK. I've just posted a Warsaw flight tour and Prague. They're in my videos, not too far down. And yeah, I'm gonna be off now. I'm gonna go and get a drink, a cup of coffee maybe, and I will see you again very soon.